Welcome my family to one more video on the Great Stoics channel. Today we have a special and different video, and we will see the story of one of the greatest Stoics, representing the country of the rising sun. Miyamoto Musashi was a legendary Japanese swordsman, philosopher and writer, considered the best samurai in history. His life was an adventure full of challenges, duels, victories and learning. His most famous work, The Book of Five Rings, is a treatise on the strategy, tactics, and philosophy of the art of war. I invite you to do a deep reading about this title. Musashi teaches us that to achieve mastery in any field, we must follow a path of discipline, perseverance, and self-knowledge. It is not enough to have talent or luck, but you have to train your mind, body and spirit with perseverance and dedication. Musashi said, "The true way of the warrior is to prevent evil, not so much strength or weakness." If you want to follow Musashi's example, and become a master of your own life, prepare for a transformative journey toward discipline and success. On this journey, you will learn to set clear and realistic goals, and work to achieve them with passion and determination. Develop a positive and confident attitude, and face obstacles and adversities with courage and resilience. Cultivate an open and curious mind, and to seek knowledge and wisdom in all things. Practice self-evaluation and self-criticism, and continually improve your skills and abilities. Respect and appreciate others, and to collaborate and compete with honor and generosity. Let's look at 7 basic aspects of Miyamoto's philosophy. First, the power of will. The samurai's willpower is victory over oneself. This phrase summarizes the essence of Bushido, the code of honor and conduct of Japanese warriors. Bushido is based on 7 virtues: righteousness, courage, benevolence, respect, honesty, honor and loyalty. These virtues are cultivated through training, discipline and self-control. An example of the samurai's willpower is the life of Miyamoto Musashi, the most famous swordsman in Japanese history. Musashi dedicated his life to perfecting his art and seeking enlightenment. Despite having won more than 60 duels, he was never satisfied with his ability, and always looked for new challenges and learnings. Musashi not only mastered the sword, but also other arts such as painting, calligraphy, sculpture and poetry. An anecdote that illustrates Musashi's willpower is that of the duel against Sasaki Kajiro, considered his most formidable rival. The duel took place on the island of Funajima, off the coast of Kokura. Musashi arrived late to the match, which angered Kajiro and his followers. Musashi had made a wooden sword with the oar of his boat, longer than his opponent's katana. With a single blow, Musashi broke Kajiro's sword and delivered a fatal cut to his head. Musashi retired without celebrating his victory, but rather reflecting on the death of his opponent. This anecdote shows that Musashi did not seek glory or recognition, but rather mastery of himself and his art. Musashi did not give in to anger, arrogance or pride, but rather he remained calm, humble and respectful. Musashi demonstrated that the samurai's willpower is victory over oneself. Second, constancy and discipline. Consistency and discipline are also 2 essential qualities to achieve any goal we set for ourselves in life. Consistency is the ability to maintain effort and motivation over time, without giving in to difficulties or temptations. Discipline is the ability to follow a plan of action, comply with rules and duties, and control impulses and emotions. Both qualities complement and reinforce each other, and allow us to overcome the obstacles that arise in our path, and achieve the goals we have set for ourselves. Without consistency and discipline, it is easy to fall into procrastination, laziness, discouragement, or abandonment. An example of someone who demonstrated great perseverance and discipline was Miyamoto Musashi. Musashi dedicated his life to perfecting his art and seeking enlightenment. Despite having won more than 60 duels, he was never satisfied with his ability, and always looked for new challenges and learnings. Musashi not only mastered the sword, but also other arts such as painting, calligraphy, sculpture and poetry. An anecdote that illustrates Musashi's perseverance and discipline is that of his training in the Raigen cave, where he spent the last years of his life. There, Musashi isolated himself from the world and dedicated himself to meditating, writing and practicing his technique. According to legend, Musashi carved a statue of Buddha with his own sword, and placed it in front of the cave entrance. Every day, Musashi bowed before the statue and asked it to grant him wisdom. One day, Musashi realized that the statue had taught him nothing, and that everything he had learned he had done by himself. Then, Musashi cut off the head of the statue with his sword, and threw it into the river. With this gesture, Musashi expressed that true enlightenment is only achieved through hard work and self-confidence. Third, observation, self-control and inner calm. Observation, self-control and inner calm are three skills that help us improve our discipline and achieve our goals. These skills can be trained and developed with practice and experience. Observation is the ability to perceive and understand what is happening around us and within ourselves. Observation allows us to be aware of our reality, our strengths and weaknesses, our emotions and thoughts, and the opportunities and threats that arise. Observation helps us make better decisions, learn from our mistakes and take advantage of our resources. Self-control is the ability to regulate and master our impulses, desires and reactions. Self-control allows us to act in accordance with our values and principles, and not give in to anger, fear, laziness or greed. Self-control helps us maintain focus, consistency and determination, and resist temptations and distractions. Inner calm is the ability to maintain peace and serenity in our mind and heart. Inner calm allows us to face situations with equanimity, without losing our nerve or balance. Inner calm helps us relax the body, release stress and generate positive energy. These three skills are key to developing discipline, which is the ability to follow a plan of action, comply with rules and duties, and work to achieve our goals. Discipline allows us to improve our effectiveness, our productivity and our quality of life. Discipline allows us to become what we want to be. Fourth, spirituality and virtue. Spirituality and virtue are two dimensions that help us develop our discipline and achieve our goals. These dimensions refer to the connection with our inner being, with others and with the meaning of life, and the practice of values and principles that guide and motivate us. Spirituality allows us to have a broader and deeper vision of reality and our role in it. Spirituality helps us find a purpose and mission that inspires us and gives us meaning. Spirituality helps us cultivate faith, hope and trust, and overcome fear, doubt and despair. Virtue allows us to act in accordance with our conscience and our ethics, and in a manner consistent with our ideals and aspirations. Virtue helps us choose the good over the bad, the just over the unjust, the noble over the vile. Virtue helps us develop character, integrity and excellence, and avoid selfishness, corruption and mediocrity. Both spirituality and virtue bring us closer to being disciplined, because they give us a reason and a guide to follow a plan of action, comply with rules and duties, and work to achieve our goals. Spirituality and virtue give us the strength and will to maintain effort and motivation over time, without giving in to difficulties or temptations. Spirituality and virtue give us the peace and serenity to face situations with equanimity, without losing our nerve or balance. I'm going to tell you an anecdote about spirituality and virtue based on the Samurai Code of Honor. The anecdote is based on the Zen master Takuin Sh and the famous swordsman Miyamoto Musashi. According to legend, Takuin gave Miyamoto a scroll with a calligram representing the word mind. Takuin told Miyamoto to meditate on the meaning of that word, and to hang it in his house as a reminder. Miyamoto followed Takuin's advice, and dedicated himself to studying Zen, and practicing the sword with a clear and calm mind. One day, Miyamoto received a visit from a rival, who wanted to challenge him to a duel. Miyamoto invited him to come to his house, and offered him tea. The rival noticed the scroll with the word mind, and asked Miyamoto what it meant. Miyamoto replied that he didn't know, and that he had only posted it because his friend Takuin had given it to him. The rival was surprised by the response, and realized that Miyamoto had reached a level of spirituality and virtue higher than his own. The rival apologized for his arrogance, and gave up the duel. Miyamoto accepted his apology, and gave him the scroll, telling him that it might help him. This anecdote shows that Miyamoto Musashi had great spirituality and virtue, which allowed him to be a good samurai. Miyamoto had a mind empty of ego and attachments, and a humble and compassionate attitude. Miyamoto did not seek violence or conflict, but rather peace and harmony. Miyamoto followed the principles of Zen and Bushido, the code of honor of the samurai. Fifth, focus and determination. Focus and self-determination are two qualities that allow us to achieve our dreams and goals. Focus is the ability to concentrate on what we want to achieve, and not to be distracted by what does not add value to us. Self-determination is the ability to decide for ourselves what we want to do, and not to be influenced by the opinions or pressures of others. These two qualities require constant work and a positive attitude. It is not enough to have an idea or a desire. but we must put them into action, and follow an action plan that guides and motivates us. We must also be aware of the obstacles and difficulties that arise along the way, and face them with courage and resilience. Focus and self-determination help us grow as people and develop our potential. They help us discover our passions, our talents and our strengths, and use them to contribute to the world. They help us to be happy, and to make others happy. A text that inspires me about focus and self-determination is the following: "Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something, not even me, okay? If you have a dream, you have to protect it. People who can't do something will tell you that you can't do it either. If you want something, go for it, and period." This text is a quote from the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, starring Will Smith and his son Jaden Smith. The film tells the true story of Chris Gardner, a man who fought poverty and adversity to become a successful stockbroker. The film is an example of how focus and self-determination can change our lives, and how the samurai already applied it to their code of honor from the beginning. Sixth, how his philosophy influenced his martial art. Miyamoto Musashi's philosophy influenced his martial art in several ways. Some of them are: Musashi developed his own combat style, called Niten Ichi Rai, which consisted of the use of two swords, one long and one short, instead of just one. This technique allowed him to have a greater advantage over his opponents, being able to attack and defend with both hands, and vary the pace and distance of his blows. Musashi applied the principles of strategy in his duels, his battles, and his life. These principles were based on observation, adaptability and effective decision-making, which allowed him to analyze the situation, modify the plan and act in the most appropriate way to achieve the objective. Musashi emphasized the importance of harmony between mind, body and spirit, and the pursuit of enlightenment. To do this, he practiced meditation, self-control and inner calm, and dedicated himself to other arts such as painting, calligraphy, sculpture and poetry. Musashi believed that the true path of the warrior was to prevent evil, not to be strong or weak. Seventh, resilience and patience. Resilience and patience, through frustration and daily defeats, are the drive towards success and discipline. This phrase summarizes a positive and courageous attitude towards life, which drives us to overcome challenges and difficulties, and to turn them into opportunities for improvement and growth. Resilience is the ability to adapt and recover from adverse situations, and to emerge stronger from them. Resilience helps us develop our self-esteem, our confidence and our creativity. Resilience helps us see the good side of things, and not lose hope or enthusiasm. Learning and growing through defeat is essential to achieving discipline and success. Defeat is not a failure, but a lesson. Defeat is not an end, but a beginning. Learning and growing through defeat means acknowledging our mistakes, assuming our responsibilities, and looking for solutions. Learning and growing through defeat means not giving up, but keeping trying. The path to discipline and success is not easy, nor linear, nor certain. The path to discipline and success is full of obstacles, changes and uncertainties, but it is also full of opportunities, learning and satisfaction. The path to discipline and success depends on us, on our attitude, our will and our action. Therefore, I invite you to be resilient, to learn and grow through defeat, and to continue your path to discipline and success. Because you are a winner, and you can achieve anything you set your mind to. You just have to believe in yourself and your potential. You just have to focus on your goal, and work hard to achieve it. You just have to be true to yourself and your values. Here ends the video of Miyamoto Musashi, and the bases and anecdotes about him to be a true samurai, and fill yourself with discipline. I hope you have enjoyed and learned as much as I have doing this work. Every day we are closer to being great Stoics. If you liked the video, help me by liking and subscribing to the channel, as well as sharing it with your friends and loved ones. A hug, be happy,